Appalachian Genealogy presents Building Your Ancestral Cabin Profile.
A weathered log cabin standing in the Appalachian woods is a physical, weather-beaten map of your family's deep history. By the end of this video, you will know how to construct an ancestral cabin timeline, identifying the specific physical features of these buildings to verify your family's history. Before we begin, gather any existing family lore, approximate geographic locations, or historical photographs of your ancestors' homestead. Every single log, notch, and stone you see here was a deliberate choice. Reading those choices reveals exactly where your ancestors came from and how their families grew. Step 1 is to document the specific types of timber and stone used in the cabin's construction. Look closely at this image showing overlapping hand-split wood shingles, known as shakes. The heavy Appalachian precipitation required this steep, waterproof layout, while the surrounding dense forests provided durable local hardwoods, like chestnut and oak, to support it. This photograph shows a chimney constructed entirely from smooth, rounded creek rock. Chimney materials act as highly specific geographical markers. If your ancestor's chimney was built using rough, jagged fieldstone instead, it indicates the family likely settled higher up on a dry ridge, away from those creek beds. Identifying these raw materials allows you to pinpoint the exact valley, hollow, or ridge where your ancestor first broke ground. Step 2 requires examining the corner notches of the cabin walls to determine your ancestor's cultural heritage. The left side of this diagram shows a half dovetail notch. This is a complex interlocking technique where the ends of the logs are cut at alternating angles to shed water. Finding this tightly fitted joint strongly indicates Scots-Irish or German building traditions. On the right side, we see a V-notch. This is a simpler cut forming an inverted V shape, which indicates a builder who prioritized speed and practical shelter over complex craftsmanship. Both styles required serious skill. This tight notching was essential to shed water and resist structural shifting without the use of modern nails or fasteners. A single hand-cut corner joint traces a family's specific cultural migration path from Europe to the American frontier. For step 3, map the physical footprint of the cabin against the cluster of birth years recorded on your family tree. This blueprint shows a single pen layout. A single pen is a one-room structure that represents the initial settlement period and a time of limited resources. Growing families necessitated expansion without destroying the original structure. Here, a second square room appears on the opposite side of a central shared chimney, creating what is known as a saddlebag layout. This image shows the dog trot alternative. A dog trot features 2 separate log pens connected by a covered, open breezeway designed to capture mountain winds. Look for correlations between these structural additions and eras of sudden family growth or improved economic stability. Architectural expansions rarely followed formal plans. They perfectly mirrored the rhythm and milestones of your ancestor's life. Step 4 is to search local land entry books and tax records to attach firm dates to the architectural phases you just identified. You can use historical databases like the Library of Congress Historic American Building Survey or local historical societies as your primary research tools. Even without a surviving photograph, you can reverse engineer the cabin style using descriptive text in surveyor notes, like this record detailing one hewn log house. Let's look at the 1834 case study of Elias McCormick to see exactly how historical records and architecture intersect. Elias's 1834 tax records perfectly matched his initial single-pen cabin. Later tax rolls update his property to 2 log houses, indicating a structural expansion alongside the cluster of birth dates for his new children. This documentary evidence connects directly back to the physical addition of the second room on his saddleback cabin. Cross-referencing tax descriptions with family birth years transforms a standard property deed into a precise timeline of ancestral success. These completed profiles map the specific ways your ancestors adapted to the slopes and seasonal weather of the Appalachian Range. The ancestral cabin timeline reconstructs a forgotten narrative of economic struggle, migration routes, and survival. Check the resource box in the video description for links to the Encyclopedia of Appalachia and regional archives to continue your research. understanding the sheer physical craft of these cabins teaches us how our own stories were shaped. Every hand-cut shingle and river stone holds a trace of your ancestors, and you now possess the tools to finally read them.
Thanks for watching. Please remember to like, follow, and share. You can also visit us at AppalachianGenealogy.com for more history and resources from the mountains. Thanks for joining us today. Like, follow, and share for more Appalachian history, stories, and genealogy. Visit us on the blog at www.appalachiangenealogy.com.